another edition of Fantasy Kingdom. I am your host, Mikey, and as always, I got with me Tommy. How you doing, Tommy?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. And then down in the basement is where we usually put him. Howie, what's going on, brother?
I'm doing good. Still
You
waiting for
know,
the spa to get here.
oh, nice, yes.
It's got pushed out another week.
Oh, bummer, brother, bummer. So this week we'll start with some league news, and with the league news, we'll start with the recap: Steelers Browns. Did either one of you guys actually catch the game?
Yeah. I work, but I watched it at the bar when I was working. Steelers offense stinks.
Yeah.
They just stink. I don't think it's all Trubisky, but he ain't helping either. I really thought he played a little better, but he's in a bad situation as well. So yeah, just in Cleveland stinks too. Let's be real. Cleveland lost against the Jets the week before. I mean, that's a typical Cleveland
Epic
thing.
meltdown. That's
Yeah,
a
epic.
Baltimore Ravens meltdown.
Yeah, with their Elfie mascot.
in the center.
Brownie.
What is that?
Brownie.
What is Brownie? What is that?
He was their mascot in the 40s, and then when the new ownership came in back then, they said let's get rid of this shit, and then they brought it to the a vote of the fans, and fans wanted Brownie.
I am shocked at the fans.
I know, it's amazing.
You know, that's got to be like my high school. My high school back in the day, 'cause my dad my mom and dad went to the first graduating class out of that school, and they had like their choice of colors, and it was like red and black and like blue and silver, and they picked green and burnt orange as a joke, and still to this day, those are the colors of the school.
They probably emailed all the old, like 60 and above fans. Forgot to email the rest of the Browns.
right? Because who's gonna pick that guy? Like, that had to have been a joke. Like, oh my god, that's hilarious.
But yeah, anyways, back on Pittsburgh, they're just they're a bad team.
So
there's not a lot there.
So let me ask you, Howie, is there anybody on Pittsburgh that you would feel comfortable taking from a fantasy perspective, knowing that their offense is struggling so bad?
Only if it was a keeper league, you know, I could stash somebody that might come back next year, you know. But there's nobody I'd start right now. Well, let's see. Didn't Johnson do pretty good? He had a decent game.
Johnson had 8 for 84. So if you're in a PPR, you know, he had a good game.
He did okay, but that was it. I mean, that's the best they could do.
Najee had 56 carries, a touchdown, with 3 catches for 5 yards. So if you have a PPR league, Najee ends up with a 14-15.
All right.
You know,
I think I was going against him in our CBS league, and he got 6 or 8.
Yeah, but that's a standard one. So he would have ended up with 11. Minus the fumble, the last minute throw around fumble.
There you go.
You know, that's another down part when you're trying to do that stupid pitch thing. If you're the last guy to touch it and they pick it up, that was a big change for people. If anybody started the Browns defense, last second touchdown.
Yeah.
The end of game.
Yeah.
That was a big change.
Yeah, and a freebie.
Yep. And then the Browns aren't that great. So Tommy, let me ask you, from the Browns, outside of Nick Chubb, who else would you keep on that team and start? Amari Cooper?
On the Browns? The Browns? I still like Hunt. He'll get you touchdowns. He may not get you consistent yards because they split carries and they go to the hot hand a little bit more, like depending on who's running that that day. But both guys kind of run well. So Hunt's still good. You could easily get a touchdown or two. You can expect from Hunt a game, at least minimum one. Like he usually gets one. So Hunt and
Cooper. He's like their only real weapon. Because he had 7 catches, 101 yards.
He had a much better game, right? He had a much better bounce back game than he did week 1. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess you could say him as well. Yeah, Amari Cooper. Other than that, that's it. You know, I guess I wonder who's stashing Watson. like
Some
you know what I
Jackson
mean?
Watson. But did you see Watson play at the beginning of the year? He wasn't all
Terrible.
that great.
No, it was really bad, and he's not going to be all that great when he gets back on the field because he's going to be very rusty, just like you saw him in the preseason game. It's going to take him a minute to really like get used to the offense, to get into the flow, to the rhythm of a regular season game. And trust me when I tell you, defenses are going to go after Deshaun.
Yeah,
they're going to attack the shit out of Deshaun Watson. They're going to make him. They're going to welcome him back with some nice hits. So yeah,
so
we'll see.
we got a comment in here from Buy Stocks. Welcome. Says, is it means there are a lot of injuries this year already? There's a ton of injuries, a lot of soft tissue. We talked a little bit about on our last show, Tommy. So, Howie, I'll go with you. Do you truly think it's from people not playing in the preseason, or do you think it's just an anomaly?
I think it's an anomaly. You know, I mean, we got a lot of guys who didn't come into the season with injuries from preseason. You know, I think those Guardian caps help a lot. You know, they really cut. I think they cut down on what they said, like 50% on concussions.
Yeah,
and I mean, they're using them everywhere now, college, high school. You know, I can see the day, and it's going to look stupid, but I can see the day when they play them. They use those things in games for at some level.
Do you think they would have those Guardian caps like?
Maybe not in the pros, but I guarantee you that they're going to bring them in Pee Wee or Pop Warner stuff like that, because you don't need the kids taking the hits at an early age. I mean, they're going to in the pros. They're getting paid for it. Yep. They know what they're there for. I get it, but you watch it. Maybe not in college, but they will bring it up you'll see it in high school.
Yeah, and then the amateur ranks, I can I can see that. I can see them going. I don't think we're there yet, but I can see they're kind of getting there in a few years. It's going to take someone to get seriously injured, and then be like, oh, we're going to put this on.
Well, they're already trying to put kids in bubble wrap, basically, for everything, and I just see it at the lower leagues. It makes sense. It's not their way. It looks goofy, but if you can save a kid from getting his head smacked really good, why not?
Yeah, nowadays in those helmets they have those double shells, and you can see it like when they look at it. You have the normal shell, then you have like another shell on top.
Right.
That's painted the team color, and those were those ones who had those concussions. Like you see them getting better and better, especially at the pro level because they put money into that. But yeah, and I think Buy Stocks was right. I think BB was the first one years ago.
I don't think it was BB. I think it was
wasn't
somebody
BB.
else.
It was someone had a weird looking one, but it was for a concussion setup. The second piece of news, Micah Hyde, out for the season. It was announced this morning. He had a hernia in his neck, based off of a hit on last Monday night. Do you see Hyde's departure affecting Bill's defense from a fantasy perspective? Howie, we'll start with you.
I don't. I think they're just so damn deep. I'm not a fan yet, but they scare the hell out of me. So, I mean, it's got to affect them somewhat. Yeah. But I think they've probably got a guy who's ready to step up right behind him. He might be younger, but he's going to have plenty of support.
Oh, Tommy, that's a perfect segue to you about your boy Johnson, who's going to step in for Micah Hyde.
Mm-hmm. By the way, real quick, it was Mark Kelso that had the helmet.
Mark Kelso who had it? Okay.
Yeah. Giant helmet.
Yeah.
Now, what were you saying now, Mikey? I'm sorry.
I was talking about Hyde being out, and do you think it's going to affect the?
Yeah. No, I don't. But we were talking about this before we went on. We have great depth, right? The Bills, just in total, like especially on defense. However, we are using our depth now, and now we don't have depth to cover the depth. So
once you start dipping in,
like Jaquan Johnson's going to fill in just nice. Everything I've seen from him, and he eventually was going to have to get his time was going to be called anyways in time. So it is what it is. His time is now, but it does not worry me. But I hope that Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott are starting to look around for free agents or possible trades for a veteran safety, maybe some corner depth. Because listen, Trey's not back yet. Trey won't be back till week 8, but thank God he should be back. So that will be an added piece, right? Hopefully, we don't know anything yet on Dane Jackson, but hopefully he comes back soon in a week or two. Let's just hope, because we don't know. I didn't think Micah Hyde was going to miss a season, so I don't even want to comment anymore on like what I think on these neck injuries. And then you got the rookies. Other than that, like Cam Lewis, but
and Saron Neal.
God, yeah, and Saron Neal, but I like Saron Neal. I don't want him the whole season playing out there at corner. So I'm pretty sure that you're gonna see some additions coming up in the near future.
Interesting to see who's still out on the free agent market from a safety standpoint. But okay, so with that, we'll move into our key matchups of the week as one of our segments. We're gonna have 3 games this week, and we're going to talk about the fantasy matchups this week. So we'll start with Chiefs at Colts. From the Chiefs standpoint, we have Mahomes, Juju, Kelsey, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire are the key guys there. For the Colts, we have Ryan, Taylor, Pittman, who is returning, and their defense. So from this matchup, what side do you like better? Do you like the Chiefs side better, or do you like the Colts side better? Howie, we'll start with you.
Well, I like the Chiefs a lot better. You know, an interesting thing about the Chiefs that I noticed, Juju, Sky Moore, and MVS, they're not the guys catching the touchdowns over there. It was funny. They're not. I mean, they're the main man, but they're not the main man.
Yeah.
Lately,
from a receiver standpoint, yeah, because I believe it's been a bunch of tight ends and running backs that have been catching all the touchdowns.
Yeah, they haven't even thrown any touchdowns to their big boys yet.
No,
Kelsey. That's scary if they start doing that.
Their biggest boy, Kelsey.
Right.
So, Tommy, on your side, what of the combos would you take
for the Chiefs Colts?
Yeah.
Well, you got to start Kelsey, right? Kelsey's a must. I think almost every week.
Yeah.
Mahomes, obviously. Matt Ryan, jeez, man. Me and Curtis talked about him.
What is it about the Colts?
I don't
go there to die.
I don't get it, man. Because he honestly, like, I was already seeing the trend. Even though, listen, Matt Ryan, to his credit, looking back at his stats, he's played good almost every year. Like, his stats are pretty consistent throughout his career. But the one thing I will say that I did see in Matt and his career, like since he's been aging, he's been getting slower in the pocket. He's taking more hits. He's not as nimble as he once was in the pocket.
Yeah,
and it's coming. Listen, the Colts offensive line, I thought it would play better. It's not, and he is just getting swarmed. And he's still okay. Listen, his yards aren't terrible, but he's just not doing enough for them to win. He doesn't have enough weapons either. I thought Pittman would play better for him, and they're just not. I don't see the connection yet. But that's what happens. First year quarterback, right? Going there. But you're right. Like, why are the Colts continuing to go after way old quarterbacks? It's not even like a 7-year vet. Like, these dudes are old, man. Phillip Rivers, even though credit to Phillip Rivers, by the way, who almost beat us
in the playoffs.
right? and really played a great game against us. But you can't keep doing that. Like you have to eventually go out and get a rookie quarterback. And, like, this would have been an ideal year for them to draft a quarterback, or maybe next. I don't know. But either way, they're in trouble, man. They are not looking good. I love their running back, Jonathan Taylor. You can usually count on him, but problem is now if teams don't respect their passing game and their weapons on the outside, they're just going to swarm on Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, that's what they're doing right now. They're loading in the box and running basically cover zero against them all the time, and they're not taking advantage of it. Granted, last week, in week 2, they didn't have Pittman or Pierce, so they were down weapons, and they got smoked by Jacksonville. I
can't, but I was very surprised for as bad as
they've lost like
not smoked though. Yeah, but not like that
in Jacksonville.
Yeah, crazy.
Jacksonville owns the Colts like Buffalo owns the Dolphins.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird though, really weird. But either way, no, Hilaire or whatever. He's streaky to me, man. He'll have games where he just is not there. He just doesn't put up points. And then he'll have another game where he scores 2 touchdowns and receiving touchdown. He's not a week to week option for me.
Yeah,
like
he's
if
a
I have
matchup and he's touchdown dependent.
Exactly. So like I said, I love the quarterback. Obviously, he's going to get your points. But other than that, anybody on the Colts side right now, I mean, Jonathan Taylor, if you have him, I mean, obviously you're going to start him. But man, that's rough.
So,
that's a rough. Whoever owns
Howie, let me ask you this question: the Colts defense, knowing that Shaq Leonard's coming back and Buckner's coming back, do you see them bouncing back into fantasy relevance?
Indy's defense?
Yeah. Because they were one of the top turnover teams last year, one of the top defenses. But then they lost Buckner and they lost Darius Leonard, who now goes by Shaq Leonard, to start the year. Do you see them bouncing back now that they're coming back?
I don't see them bouncing back until their offense kicks back in. I mean, if all you're going to have is your defense out on the field, they're going to get tired. They're not going to do anything unless that offense starts producing and give them some time off the field. No, I don't see them doing anything.
All right, that's a great take. Ultimately, so we'll move into matchup number 2: Lions at Vikings. We have Goff, Swift, St. Brown, and Hawkinson versus Cousins, Cooks, Jefferson, and Thielen. Thielen has been MIA this year, and I know he's a favorite of yours, Howie.
I know, I love him, and he ain't doing anything.
He ain't doing nothing. They took away, last week Philly took away Jefferson, and you'd think Thielen would step up, but it's nothing at all.
They gave him a little bit, but not enough to mean anything.
Yep. So, Tommy, from your side, buddy, would you go? What side do you think is going to have a better week? Do you think it's going to be the Lions with Goff, Swift, St. Brown, and Hawkinson, or do you think it's going to be the Vikings with Cousins, Cook, Jefferson, and Thielen?
You want to go with the Vikings on this and think that last week was just a bad week for them.
Fluke?
Yeah, fluke. Because I expected something better. The Lions defense has not been playing that good either. They give up a ton of points and yardage. So I'm going to lean towards Vikings on this. I'm going to lean towards the bounce back game for Jefferson, bounce back game for Cousins. But I do, man, I'm telling you, St. Brown, man, watch out for him. I have him on my fantasy. He was a steal. He was a steal to draft where I got him at. It just seems like he's just continuing to improve week after week. And Swift is just a monster, man. He is a really good running back for them. So I like those two. Goff, by the way, I picked him up as a backup. Why not?
Why not?
I feel like well. Yeah, he's been playing well, right? And as long as St. Brown's, playing well from and Hawkinson, by the way, I still like Hawkinson. He's a really good tight end. I think they need to use him a little bit more, but I mean, but
ton of targets last week. They weren't.
He did, but I think they need to just game plan, use him in the game plan a little bit more. But either way. They have their certain weapons, but Goff is a good sneaky backup. If you have a guy on a bye, I would definitely play him over some of these other guys that are available, like Jameis Winston, stuff like that. I would trust Goff right now over him.
You're not a Winston fan, brother.
I told you he'll have a game, like I said, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Next week, 253 interceptions. No touch. I mean, he's weird player, man. But either way, that's who I got. I like Jefferson this week. I like Cousins this week. They're going to put up some good fantasy points.
Howie, same question to you. Which one would you prefer?
I think I'm going to take the Vikings this week. I mean, I like Detroit's offense, but Wentz tore him up. And everybody laughed at me for picking Wentz, by the way, and.
Yeah, you won the Howie's Hot Pepper Challenge with Wentz.
Yeah. And they lost the game, but man, they put some points up against Detroit, and they're not nearly as good as the Vikings.
Are the Vikings good? Are the Vikings good? That's the real question. I know they looked really good week 1, but last week they looked terrible.
Well, we're only in it 2 weeks. I mean, if you're going to go by the first 2 weeks, heck, we got that game between the Raiders and Tennessee this week, and one of them is going to be 0-3.
Yeah,
You know,
their season is quickly going down the drain with whatever one that doesn't win.
yeah.
Sorry, so I'm looking over. Sorry, guys, but Eastern Michigan. Have you ever seen their football field?
No.
What color?
I look over. I thought my TV was like messed up for a second. I'm like, what's, bro? It looks like I'm watching a black and white game, like the TV's in black and white, and it's not, bro. Their field is like gray, all gray and black, and it's so
it's like
weird.
watching the Ducks basketball games where their freaking court's like yellow and green.
Bro, it's really trippy to watch because it's like all you see is the colors on they're going against the Buffalo, and Eastern Michigan colors are gray, so it's like the only colors you really see are the Buffaloes, white.
The white,
so odd.
It's like a black and white game.
It's so weird, bro. It's so odd.
That's how we used to watch all of them.
Yeah, I'm like, Howie, you know what that's like back in as a kid, right? Back when it was black and white.
You know, nowadays you get so many games. We had the game of the week on Sunday, and that was about it. You know,
channel, right? NBC.
I remember before there was a Monday Night Football. You know,
man.
Oh yeah, and like when we did our first fantasy leagues, you had to do it from the newspaper. Yeah, you know, you remember that in our first league in 04.
Yeah,
but even prior to that, before, I want to say back in the 90s, we had a league and we had to get all our stats out of the newspaper.
Yeah, the first league that we were a part of, our dynasty league that we're still running, which is going on year 19, I believe.
This is 19?
Yeah, year 19. I did everything based off of stats in an Excel spreadsheet as the commissioner.
Yeah.
And then Yahoo came out with theirs, and then a bunch of other people came out with theirs, and we just switched over. But yeah, that was fun. All right, I'm actually saying I would take the Lions. I'm buying the hype on the Lions big time. Whoa!
See what I'm saying? Is that Chirfy, man?
That's like the first time I saw a game at Boise State, and they had that bright blue.
Yeah. But that totally looks like black and white because they're wearing gray. The refs are black and white zebras.
That's not this game, but I was just showing a picture of their field.
Yeah, like if you can imagine, if Buffalo's wearing white,
yeah, bro,
totally look like a black and white game.
It's so weird, trippy, because the color, even the like the logo thing and over there, the whatever the division they're in is like grayed out. But yeah, I had to show you that. Weird,
bro.
That
is trippy, dude. That is trippy. As I was saying though, the Lions, I'm buying the hype. I like what Dan Campbell's doing there. I love their offense, and listen, I'm glad their defense isn't good because that means they're going to be in shootouts all year long. And I got DeAndre Swift.
Right?
Yeah,
they both have St. Brown.
We both got Brown.
Yeah, that's I got Hawkinson in one of my leagues. That's a positive. You know.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
From a fantasy perspective,
that's really the key for fantasy is to pick guys on teams that are always coming from behind.
Yeah.
You got your Bills, and they're always ahead, and they're scoring lots of points.
Speaking of, I lost last week because they pulled Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs in the third quarter. I lost by 2 points.
No, you won.
No.
Not in our league.
Oh, in the other league. Okay, because you won.
Howie, yeah,
we're in a money league, and I scored the most points I've scored in probably a couple years, and I damn near lost it.
Yeah,
I was ahead by 100 points
going in.
Then Buffalo played, and if they wouldn't have pulled them, I'd have lost by probably 20, 30 points.
Oh yeah,
I had Allen and Diggs stacker, and then I had Henry going. So I had those three guys going, and they pulled all of them, even Henry in the third quarter. I thought I was going to get some cheap stuff from Henry at the end, and I lost by 2 points.
Yeah, 192. What was it? 194 to 192.
192. Yep. Absolutely, Troy. Praying for Micah Hyde's healthy return next year. And you know what? Let's support our boy Johnson stepping up in his place. So let's move on 100%. To key matchup 3. We got the Bills and Dolphins. Allen's, Diggs, Davis, and the defense, which I also think there's going to be a third player. So I call them Player X, and I'll let you guys weigh in who you think that's going to be this week. Versus Tua, Hill, Waddle, Gesicki, and the defense. So, Howie, as you're the resident non-Bills fan here, who do you think that third X factor player is going to be for the Bills? Is it going to be Crowder, McKenzie, Singletary, Knox? Who's going to be the guy that steps up?
I think I like McKenzie. He's kind of sneaky. He gets in there. You don't expect him. You expect Davis or Diggs to do it, and I think McKenzie gonna sneak in for a couple.
All right, cool. So then, of the two, which way you leaning this week? Which set would you prefer to have? Would you prefer to have the Bills set or the Dolphins set?
God, you're gonna make me say it.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I would rather have the Bills set. But that being said, I'm starting Hill and hoping for the best. I mean, I think it'll be a shootout. I don't know. I mean, the Bills, they surprise me every time I see them. I mean, they could absolutely crush Miami, but that's not what I'm here. I mean, everybody, all the shows that aren't either Bill centric or me are saying that it's going to be a close game, and I don't
see. And I think it's recency biased. And me and Tommy talked about this on our show together.
Yeah.
The first 7 quarters of football, the Dolphins have 3 touchdowns. The 8th quarter, they have 4 touchdowns. And everyone's going off of, oh, my God, look at that 4th quarter.
Right.
They've unlocked everything. Dude, if you go back and watch that first, the Bills aren't going to double team a running back and let Tyreek Hill one wide open. That's just not going to happen. We're also not going to be dumb enough to play cover 1 single high safety
right
against those 2 speedsters when we're up freaking 30 points.
Well, neither team has a running game, so that's going to make it interesting. I don't like either one of the running games. You got a quarterback that runs, okay, but you don't have a running game.
Shame
Sorry,
on
Tommy.
you.
Tommy, we're moving
very
over to you, buddy.
Very upsetting to hear that.
Be surprised what team you picked that you would rather have.
Really? It's the Bills.
Do we have to ask that question?
Right? Come on now.
As he's decked out.
Come on now. And Devin Singletary will be my player I'm choosing.
Okay.
He's played very well actually against Miami. In Miami, he's had some big runs.
That's where he's from.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Devin Singletary in this game. I think Devin Singletary is going to be used a little bit more than you think. He's a Florida boy. He's used to that heat. He's actually hasn't been used much at all this season, so his legs should be ready to go. And I think they're going to lean a little bit on him. I'm not saying he's going to get 20 carries, but I think you'll get the most carries he's had since, from week 1 to week 2. But yeah, I think our defense is good. I don't think this game's going to be close. Just a heads up. We already talked about this. So I think our defense is going to do just fine. I think we're going to we're going to bring our pressure. We're going to get sacks. So that's, if you have the Bills defense, I would definitely pick them. Hill's going to still get his, 80 to 100 yards somewhere around there. And I still even think Waddle's going to match him 80 to 100 yards. I think it's going to be a lot of slants, a lot of yards after catch, but nothing to the house. And I don't think it's anything going to be a wide open touchdown. So they'll get a touchdown. I don't know where it'll come from. If I had a guess, they're definitely going to score a touchdown. And I think it's going to be to not either one of those guys. I think it's going to be like Gesicki. So if you have Gesicki, I think he's going to have a touchdown in that game. I don't think Hill or Waddle will have a touchdown.
All right, cool. Howie, trade. Who won this trade? Aaron Jones, A-Rob, Braden Cooks for Eckler, Lamb, and Gordon.
Well, last week, the first group won because Eckler didn't do anything, Lamb didn't do anything, Gordon hasn't done much. But I'm an Eckler fan. I think Lamb's going to have a good season anyway, especially when Dak comes back. But I think they're going to throw to him anyway. And then Gordon,
He's touchdown dependent.
Yes, touchdown dependent, and he's splitting carries. So if you're talking about who won the trade, it depends what week you're talking. I like Aaron Jones. I've got him as one of my running backs.
Also depends on what format you're in. If it's a standard league or PPR league.
If it's PPR, you go with the second group, I think.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Tommy?
I'm sorry, I was doing something.
Who won the trade? Aaron Jones, A-Rob, Cooks for Eckler, Lamb, and Gordon.
All right, so he traded Aaron Jones, and who's A-Rob? I don't.
Allen Robinson.
Oh, Allen Robinson. Okay.
Yep.
For
So
Aaron,
Eckler, Lamb, and Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon has been a disappointment so far to me. I actually dropped him.
By the way, it's a PPR league.
I get it, but PPR.
Yeah, it's a PPR league.
CeeDee Lamb, Eckler. Eckler's also off to kind of a slow start. Yep. I would say, God, you're getting three guys. I would say the Aaron Jones, Robinson.
From a PPR standpoint.
But that's a lot of players at PPR. You're getting three of those guys.
I think I like Cooks better than I like Gordon from a PPR standpoint. I think Aaron Jones and Eckler cancel each other out. I think A-Rob and Lamb cancel each other out, and then it comes down to Gordon versus Cooks. And in PPR, I think I would take Cooks over Gordon. But really, it's a pretty fair trade across the board.
Yeah. It's tough to sway either way.
By the way, Pierre, let me know what side of the house were you on?
Right.
So anyway, so going back, we heard from you guys both. I like the Allen Diggs combination. I love that Davis is hopefully going to be back. My player X is going to be Dawson Knox. I think he's going to have a bigger role this week. And then on the other side, I love Hill, Waddle, and Gesicki. I like them all. I'm not a big Tua fan. I don't trust him. He's played one good quarter this year. Other than that, he's been pretty mediocre. Everyone says, well, he's leading the league in passing. Well, when you throw for 460 yards, of course you are. But guess what? If you threw for 460 yards, it probably means that your team needed you to chuck the ball late in the game. So, unless you're Buffalo, who all you do is throw the ball. But at the end of the day, I think the Bills are going to have a better day than the Dolphins. I like the Bills defense better than I like the Dolphins defense. He made the trade. He made the trade. He got rid of Jones, Cooks, and Rob, and they were his bench players. Wow, those were your bench players? Gordon, I got insurance case of. So he handcuffed to Gordon with Javonte. That's actually not a bad. You know what? I can see why you made the deal then. Getting that handcuff in case something happens to Javonte is actually a really smart move, especially if he's going to be a bench guy. So either way, I think it's a pretty fair trade across the board. So let's move into our next segment, set and start this week. So Tommy, we'll start with you. Clyde Edwards-Helaire at Indy or Antonio Gibson versus Philly?
Philly's been playing well, but they give up points too. What's Kansas City's matchup again?
At Indianapolis.
Indy's been playing. Oh, God. That's tough, man. I'm going to go. I'll go Gibson. I'll go Gibson on that one. I think Philly's run defense hasn't been that good. They give it up a lot of yards. They give up a lot of yards to Swift as well. So I'll go Gibson on this one, but it's a toss up, man. That's a hard one to honestly because Hilaire's so
going to be like that, brother.
Hilaire's he's so streaky, man. Like he can give you hardly nothing one week and something the next.
Then have a big week.
Yeah, Gibson though he's not monstrous in some games, but he's kind of consistent in what he brings each week. So
until Brian Robinson Jr. comes back around week 5 or 6.
Yeah, he's not going to give you crazy points, but he's consistent. He's giving you I don't know what he's averaging. What is he averaging right now? Because I want to say 10.
Probably right around that.
Okay, exactly. So, listen, I know it's not crazy numbers, but Hilaire can give you nothing. He can give you 2. There's been weeks I've seen him get 2. I don't know what he's averaging. What is Hilaire averaging this week so far, Mike?
He's averaged about 11 points because he had the week 1 he had the 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And then last week he had no touchdowns, but he had 11.
Exactly. Right. It's a tall. See, it's kind of a toss up. Yeah. Honestly, I'll go Gibson just because of the matchup. Philly's given up mad yards on defense against a rush, so I'll go with that. But I mean, who knows? I don't know. That
Howie?
one's tough.
Howie, this one's for you, buddy.
Well, I guess I should go with the homer pick this week because I love Washington to win. I'd like to see Joey go down in flames.
Oh yeah.
I'm still gonna go with Hilaire.
Okay.
I just think he's gonna have a better week.
I think they're both PPR dependent, so I don't think neither one of them are in a standard league are really great starts. And I think Gibson gives you a higher floor, but Hilaire gives you the bigger upside.
Mm-hmm.
So second one. We'll start with you, Howie. Wilson Jr. at Denver or Elliott at the New York Giants?
Okay. Well, Elliott's your known factor. He's not having a great year so far, but he's steady. And Jeff Wilson, we keep hearing about him, but we haven't seen him yet. And the way the running backs go through, the way the Niners go through running backs, I think if you're going to have Jeff Wilson, you also ought to think about picking up a kid named Jordan Masters. He's next in line on the Niners running back list. And when Wilson goes down, Masters will come on in. But for this week, I'm going to go with Zeke.
Jordan Masters?
Yeah, out of the blue.
I've never even heard that name.
I know. He hasn't even got a carry, but he's next in line. That's the way the Niners do it. They just have them stacked up and behind. It's like, oh,
no, I'll be perfectly honest. I hadn't heard of Jeff Wilson Jr. until he came in either. So
right.
A couple years ago. Man, that's a great one. Okay, Tommy, to you, buddy.
All right, what's the matchup again?
The matchup is Jeff Wilson Jr. at Denver, Elliott at the New York Giants. Which one are you playing?
Giants defense has been playing pretty well. They held Henry in check. But Elliott, they're going to start relying on him more, on at least Pollard and Elliott. I'm going to go Elliott for this one. I think they're going to, it's until Dak comes back, I think they're going to start leaning a little bit more towards the run, even though Rush won the first game. But either way, I think Elliott's going to have a good game here, a bounce back in, because he hasn't had very good games his first 2 weeks. So I think you start seeing Elliott get the ball a little bit more. And I expect 100 yards and a touchdown. I do.
Wow.
I think Elliott finally.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Wow.
I do.
That's a hot take,
It's been a minute for him. He's due.
That's a chili pepper pick there.
And now imagine if we were talking about this a couple years ago. This wouldn't be like, oh my God, wow. But it's just he's declining. He's like on this decline ever since he got paid.
I don't even know if it's him or if it's just that offensive line is beat up.
Could be. It could be. I have no idea, but either way, they're going to need him. Like they have to need that. Listen, he's getting paid, and if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm that coach. I'm right. You better earn your check, man. I'm going to run the hell out of you until we get Dak back.
That's right, Antonio.
Go ahead.
That's how we rock here at Mafia Sports Report.
Damn real.
That's how we rock.
I'm going Elliott.
There's another guy that's going to hate me.
Yeah. Hey, we have to have non-biased opinions up in there.
You got it.
As much as Tommy and I like to try to think we're non-biased, we're still Bills fans at heart.
Yeah.
So moving on. Also, I probably would go with Elliott. I think Elliott gives you the higher floor. I think you don't know what the heck Jeff Wilson Jr. is going to do. Like, he could be a superstar in that offense, but who freaking knows? And will Shanahan really stick to just one guy, or with Mitchell out, is he going to go with a committee? So our next one, and we'll start with you, Tommy, on this one. Pittman versus KC, Michael Thomas versus Carolina, or Christian Kirk at the Chargers?
I'll go Michael Thomas on that one. I think Michael Thomas is having a nice little bounce back year. But of course, it all depends on the quarterback, Winston. So, but what's the matchup on the Saints? Who are they going against again?
The Saints versus Carolina.
Yeah,
They're at
no,
home against Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Carolina's defense is okay this season. I don't think it's terrible, but it's not good either. At home, I think they have a nice little bounce back game. And like I said, Winston will have those bad games, the good games. So he had his bad game last week against the Bucks. Maybe this will be his bounce back game, and he gets the ball to him. So I expect that. So I'll go that route. Yeah.
Okay. And before we move to you, Howie, we have a question and a comment coming in. It says Kamara and DJ. I'm guessing DJ is Johnson from the Steelers. For Najee and Pollard, who would you take? Deontay Johnson, I'm guessing. DJ?
I guess. I have no idea. Kamara's been such a disappointment, too. He's on my team. God. Hurt.
DJ Moore. Okay. Kamara and DJ Moore or for Najee and Pollard. I would rather have Kamara and DJ Moore, personally. Pollard's in a timeshare, and Najee plays for the Steelers, who have just a horrible offense.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Mikey on this one. Even though Kamara has been banged up and not playing very good this first 2 weeks.
Still early in the year.
Yeah, well, he missed second week, actually, so he didn't play. First week.
DJ Moore started coming on last week.
But I'll tell you what, I still think if the Steelers can get somewhat of an offense going, Najee Harris can really, he had a nice year last year. Najee Harris still catches ball out of the backfield. He's a solid running back. He's probably one of their few options right now. right. So that's tough, but I'm going to still swing with Kamara and DJ Moore.
Yeah. Howie?
I'm gonna go opposite of you guys. Gonna go with Najee and Pollard. I don't know if this guy's in a standard league or a PPR league, but I think Najee and Pollard is a better pick. Now, hopefully, the guy's got enough receivers on his team. He's not, trading away DJ and coming up short.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that with guys this year where I got to pick this guy up, and all of a sudden he's got one receiver. I don't know what kind of a league he's in. Oh wait, Alan Jones for full PP redraft.
So this is a different question.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna go with Najee and Pollard.
Yeah, it's a full PPR league. Just so you know, the question before about that.
Oh, okay.
All right, it's a full PPR league.
I still like them.
So you like Pollard more than you like DJ Moore? Because I look at Najee and Kamara as canceling each other out. So I look at the second person in there. DJ Moore versus Pollard. I find DJ Moore more attractive than Pollard.
I don't find Kamara that attractive this year. I love the guy, but he's just not doing anything. So I would have to go the other way.
Okay, cool. Then we'll move over to this next question. Keenan Allen for Aaron Jones, full PPR redraft. Who wins?
Wow.
And either one of you guys can start. It doesn't matter. Whoever has the first.
Okay. Well, Keenan's been a 1,000-yard receiver for a long time, but every time I get him, he disappoints me. And he's one of my keepers. I don't know. I think I take Aaron Jones if I had to do over again.
And PPR league, Tommy.
I'm saying, listen, Howie.
Well, you're going to get the runs from Aaron Jones, and you're going to get a lot of catches.
I'm the same with you. All you're going to get
from Keenan is catches.
I'm the same with you, though. I don't know what it is with the bad. Like, I've picked up Keenan Allen in my leagues, like, I think 3 times now. Every single time I do, he's either gets hurt or
he always gets hurt.
Something bad. But the 1 year I didn't pick him up, I think it was I forget what year it was. He had a really good year.
2 years.
And I'm like, you can't just pass him by in the draft. It's like
he's when healthy, he's one of the best. Yeah, so it's like, and he has a really good quarterback throwing to him. But he just has some bad luck. I'll go Jones. Just because of that, a factor alone. I can't trust Allen's health. So yeah.
I'm with both of you guys. I would also go Aaron Jones, especially in a full PPR league, as Howie said it. He's really the biggest weapon that the Packers have right now, and he's the one that Aaron Rodgers trusts the most. So you're gonna see a ton of catches Plus, he has the ability to run, and he gets most of the goal line carries. So, if it was me, and I don't know what side you're on, Sebastian, but if you have a chance, if you're the Keenan Allen one, and you have a chance to grab Aaron Jones, do it. As long as you have other receivers to replace him, don't go grab him and then not be able to use him just to have him.
Yeah, don't just stash him.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're one of those ones who has that, and then you already have two good receivers or two good running backs, try to deal off one of your other running backs to get another decent receiver. So okay, Howie, I think we were at you, right, for the Pittman versus Thomas versus Kirk.
Pittman, Thomas, Kirk. I've got all three of them in different leagues. Thomas has been the one who's producing the most for me. Pittman's the one I need the most. And Kirk's the steadiest out of all of them. So I think Thomas is going to score more this week, but I think Kirk's going to get more catches and yards. So take your pick on that one.
Okay.
I'll go with Thomas.
Okay. Say same with Tommy. And I'll go Thomas too. I like the matchup the best. Pittman's going against KCU as a revamped defense, and Kirk. As much as I love Kirk, that secondary for the Chargers is really good.
Yeah.
So Sebastian said he has Jamar, Cooks, Thielen, and Ayuk, and Lockett as his other receivers. So if you're the one trading away Allen for Jones, then absolutely do it.
Yeah.
If you're the one that's trading for Allen and getting rid of Jones, don't do it. You already have a stacked wide receiver core.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So his running backs are Zeke, James Robinson. So the upgraded running backs needed. Yes, absolutely. Trade away Allen for Aaron Jones. Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for the question. That is a fantastic question, and I love that type of stuff when we start digging into our trades. So so our next one, Landry at Carolina versus Anderson at New Orleans versus Boyd at the Jets. Tommy, who are you going with?
All right, give me that one more time.
Landry at Carolina, Robbie Anderson at New Orleans, Tyler Boyd at home versus the Jets.
I'm gonna go Boyd against the Jets.
I
think they bounce back. They have to. They have to. Can't and the Jets got lucky. They got lucky last week. They give up. Their defense has not been playing very well. Boyd, he's going. I have a feeling he's going to get at least a touchdown in this game. He's going to be like the X factor for their offense. So yeah, I'll go there.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go with Boyd too. Landry's got a whole lot of competition down there. Anderson's playing against New Orleans. I'm going to go with Boyd. I think that's a good pick.
And that's a sweet for us. I would go with Boyd as well. If I had to choose, I love Landry as a PPR guy.
Right.
You have a PPR league.
He'll get his catches, but
So if it's a PPR league, I would absolutely still look at Landry if you have him. But Boyd is probably the best of the three options. I would go Boyd, Landry, and then Anderson. Okay, the next one. Kittle's at Denver, who's making his season debut, versus Goddard at Washington.
I'm going to go Kittle all day long.
Even though it's his season debut and he's coming back from a hamstring.
I know. I just think he's going to have a really good day. Him and Garoppolo are going to go nuts.
Okay. All right. And myself, Goddard's a big part of that offense. I still don't trust Jalen Hurts from a throwing perspective.
Right.
I like Goddard, but I have a feeling that Kittle's going to be brought back, especially because the Niners need that extra weapon. He's that X factor for that team that tends to put that offense over the top because he's a fantastic run blocker and receiver. I have a feeling you're going to see Kittle have a big game this week, which I need in my fantasy league. So I would go with Kittle as well. And then moving down to our final one, and when Tommy gets a chance to come back in, we'll ask him the questions. Komet at Houston versus Hooper versus the Raiders. Who you going with?
Unless I had to, I wouldn't start either one of them. But I'm going to go with Hooper because it's almost an elimination game, and
Okay.
they're gonna have to pull out all the stops.
All right, Tommy. So I'll go back to the last two questions. Kittle at Denver versus Goddard at Washington. Who you going with?
I like Kittle.
Kittle making
like Kittle.
a season debut.
Yeah, I'll go Kittle. I'll go Kittle
Okay.
on this. Yep.
And then the second one is Komet at Houston versus Hooper at the Raiders.
Say it again. My dog's barking. She's still barking.
Komet at Houston or Hooper at home versus the Raiders. And that Tennessee team.
I'll go Hooper on this one.
Hooper?
Yep.
So no love for Komet, huh? You have no faith in neither one of you guys have any faith in Fields.
No, I like Chicago. I just don't like Komet.
I don't have faith in Fields, but either way.
All right. Okay. So that ends our sit and start this week. So we'll move into our segment 3. And we'll go with Howie's Hot Pepper Challenge. Last week he had Carson Wentz, 265, 2 touchdowns. He wins. He does not have to eat the hot pepper like he did in week 1. So congratulations, Howie.
Thank you.
So I need to know for week 3, who is your hot pepper challenge?
Let's see. I could eat a pepper. Let's see. I got to get crazy here.
Jacoby Brissett. Pick Brissett for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Considering he just played, you lose. Eat the pepper.
Let's see. I'll tell you what. You guys pick a quarterback, and I will pick his. I'll pick his stats. It doesn't matter what quarterback you pick.
Okay.
I'll give him something tough.
Quarterback. I'm gonna go Tua. Tua's hot pepper challenge.
Oh God. Okay.
You good with that one, Tommy?
Tua's gonna get sacked 3 times. He's gonna put up 2 INTs. He's gonna throw for 275 and 2 touchdowns.
275 and 2 touchdowns.
And 2 picks. So you're saying
2 picks, and he's
I'm not gonna. He has to go over. I'm not gonna say he has to throw 2 picks. I'm gonna say he has to go over 275 and 2 touchdowns.
And 2 touchdowns. I got you.
But he's gonna get sacked a bunch, and he's gonna throw a couple picks.
I like it. I won't hold you to those 2. So really, for your challenge, he has to go over 275 and 2 TDs.
I'm just trying to, make it a little nice for the Buffalo fans. We got to give them a little something.
Oh, honestly, 275 and 2 TDs when they're down a bunch isn't a whole lot.
No, I don't think. I think they're going to be down and it's going to be tough to get it.
He's the league leading passer, and you're only saying 275. That's not really a challenge.
Yeah, I don't think. I think I'm going to end up eating a pepper, to be honest with you.
So do I. Here's a question that comes in: 12-team league, 0.75 PPR. So they get 3/4 of a point for PPR. 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex league. Running backs are Saquon, Montgomery, McKissick, Kenneth Walker. My receivers are Kupp, Brown, Godwin, London, Bateman, Myers, Dotson. Do I trade London for A.J. Dillon? You have A.J., you have Kupp, and you have Bateman, Dotson. Yes, because you need another elite back to go, guy. Because right now your backs are basically Saquon and Montgomery. McKissick, and we don't know what Walker is. He's still out. McKissick is a 3rd down back. You have a deeper depth in your receivers than you do in your running backs. I would probably make that deal. Is it a keeper league or is it a redraft league? If it's a keeper, you want to keep London. If it's a redraft league, I would make that deal because A.J. Dillon is going to vulture some touchdowns this year. Howie, we'll start with you.
Let's see. Godwin's still hurt. Yeah, I would do that because he's got a ton of receivers, and I'm not sure on McKissick or Walker. Dylan's a good pickup. I've got him on one of. I've just stashed him on one of my teams.
Yep, and it's a redraft league, so you're not worried about losing London from a keeper standpoint. I would absolutely make that deal. Yeah. Tommy?
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that one.
Yep. All right, so you got consensus from all three of us. I would absolutely make that deal, as you have depth with AJ Brown, Godwin when he comes back, Cup. Like AJ Brown, Godwin, and Cup will be your main three anyways. And then one of those other guys is going to be a flex. But if you can flex Saquon, Montgomery, and A.J. Dillon, who during bye weeks you can slide in there, you're much more balanced. I would make that deal.
I like it.
Yeah, I would definitely make that deal. All right, so we got the Howie's Hot Pepper Challenge, 275, 2 touchdowns. So now we're into the non-QB X Factor. Last week, Howie wins. He gets the 3 points with Michael Thomas's touchdown. That's the reason why he wins. I come in second with Saquon Barkley 11, and Tommy comes in third with Jamar Chase's 10. Talk about letting you down, Tommy.
Jeez.
Yikes. Absolutely, buddy. Thanks for coming in and asking the question. So this week, I will start. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift as my guy. I think I'm riding those Lions. I love them. I think he's going to be the guy. So Howie, we'll go with you.
Well, let me get him in before Tommy does. I'm going to go with Amon St. Brown. Brown. The mummy.
You think he's going to have back-to-back huge weeks, huh?
I don't know if it's going to be huge, but I think he's going to be steady every week.
Tommy, this is to you, brother. Who is your non-QB X Factor this week?
Gabe Davis.
Oh, imagine that.
Tommy dropping it. Listen, I gave Tommy crap last week about picking the top tier guy all the time. He comes back in week 3 and says Gabe Davis. And you know what's crazy?
Skippy.
There's a good chance that actually happens.
Okay.
Gabe Davis is a man-child when he's on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I love that pick, especially as a Bills fan, Tommy. It's near and dear to my heart, brother. So, to give you guys a quick recap, I'm winning currently through 2 weeks, 5 with 5 points. Howie is in second with 4 points, and Tommy is in third with 3 points. So, it's still early. We'll get there. We have Mark comes in and says, hide out for the year, fellas. I know. That's a bummer. It is. I hate it. But with that, we now know who our X Factors are. Swift, Gabe Davis, Amon St. Brown, Howie Top Pepper Challenge, 275, 2 touchdowns. And for Howie, Tommy, and myself, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Oh, hey. I got one last little thing.
Sure.
Forgot if you're looking at guys, on your waiver wire.
Oh, I forgot to do that.
I'm looking at Garrett Wilson and Greg Dortch from Phoenix.
Tommy, have you heard of Greg Dortch?
Dortch.
Have you heard?
But I like the name, Dortch.
Yeah.
No.
So if you're looking for waiver wires, someone to fill in with all these injuries that are out there, Garrett Wilson, the rookie out of Ohio State.
He's got a third of the Jets' yards already.
Yeah, but I mean, you're banking on old man footsteps.
Well, I'm just saying if you're hurting for somebody on a waiver wire,
okay,
these are guys to look at.
Greg Dortch is a new one to me, brother. I haven't heard that name.
Well, I'm trying to come up with names that you never heard because you're always way ahead of me.
I'll tell you
that's why I picked up this Mason, talking about this Mason kid and Dortch, and next week I'll come up with some other name.
Hey, so for those of you that want to follow Howie's advice and is looking for a deep sleeper that I've never even heard of, Dortch. You know what?
Hey, if you're in a 12-team league or something, you might need 15
or 16-team league. You might need in Dortch I'll tell you, I will watch a little bit of the Arizona game, and I'll be looking for Greg Dortch's name. I've never heard of the dude. So, with that, for Tommy, Howie, and myself, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Go Bills.
Later.